don't know how many we'll have on live, but we shall see.
Okay. Shut the door. All right.
All right, let's see. Let's give everybody just like 2 to 3 minutes to pop on.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and post it in PNIC too.
I like these so much more than Zoom.
Oh, me too. I do. I don't like that people can't easily chat.
Yeah.
They can on the Zoom or like a live Facebook, but
Yeah.
it's gonna keep all of our links in a better place.
Right.
Okay.
So does it tell us if people are on? Like it does?
Yeah, there's a few on right now.
Okay.
I used to play music like before we started, and then YouTube started banning my videos like once they'd upload because it was like,
no way.
Yeah.
Picks up the sound.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and get started, and people who want to hop on can hop on. All right. Hi, guys. We're going to go ahead and get started today. I know there are plenty of you who are working and recovering from Mother's Day weekend fun. So hopefully you can catch our recording. But thank you to those who have hopped on live with us. We are going to, just to give you a little bit of background on what this week is going to entail. Basically, we're going to be doing this whole like get to Emerald kind of push, but really more than anything, we just want to show you how doable it is to hit that first rank goal, how some current Emeralds are doing that and how they are thriving in their businesses. Just little business tips that we can give you from veteran coaches and newer coaches to help get you started right. So every single day we're going to have 1 to 2 live videos just like this where we'll pop in and you're going to see plenty of different leaders. You're going to see different leadership styles, different approaches to the business, and you're going to see a lot of up-and-coming leaders who are going to be on those calls with our Diamond and Star Diamond coaches. So we'll try to do 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, evening to try to fit into everyone's schedule. And then, of course, whenever you cannot hop on live, the link, like this current YouTube link, is also going to be the link for the recording if you want to give that to your teams afterwards. So be ready for that. There will be a few days where we don't have 2 videos, and when we don't, we'll still have 2 posts. Lots of good information to just share with you guys on all things Emerald. So today I have myself, and I don't think I've even introduced myself. So I'm Niki Whiting, for those of you who don't know who I am. I've been coaching for 4 years this month, which is kind of crazy. And I have on with me Allie Myers, who is going to be sharing all of her tips on Emerald and just really running a rocking business from the start. And our topic today is all about how Emerald is a mindset. The fact that Emerald has to be something that makes, it's like a shift in your mind where you decide that it's gonna happen for you. And we wanna give you kind of our top 6 tips on that topic today. So we're gonna kind of bounce around back and forth. Allie has a really solid downline. She has slow and steadily been building to Diamond, and because of that, she has some really hardworking coaches already underneath her, which is what we want to see. She's hitting Success Club consistently and running great challenge groups, and is amazing at sharing her coaching journey. So I thought who better to have on today than her. So we are going to talk a little bit back and forth. I'm not great with like being super organized beforehand. I was telling her before this call that I really like to just kind of talk with what's on my mind. And I do have a handful of notes that I'll kind of refer to, but we were having this conversation right before this call where we were like, what do we want to talk about first? And I said, I really think that for me, it was the fact that I knew Emerald was going to be like my first goal, and that was what I was going to shoot for. And that was like the first thing I was thinking about. And I think I just assumed that that was her mindset as well. And she actually came back to me and said, I don't know, that actually wasn't what I thought, first of all. I was thinking about the future, and I was thinking about like where it was going to go. I was thinking farther ahead than that. And I actually was like, that's perfect. And we should actually talk about that. So I'll start with just talking about my mindset, and then she's going to go into her thoughts. So for me, when I signed up to coach, again, it was 4 years ago, May. So literally, I need to look up my anniversary. It's got to be coming up. But I remember thinking, I want to be Emerald. I saw people being recognized as Emerald. I saw the recognition that corporate gave and the coaches were giving for those coaches who were getting to Emerald. And although I didn't really know a whole lot about it, I knew that by advancing in rank, I was going to be moving my business forward. So without really knowing much, I knew that Emerald was going to be my first goal. The good thing that the situation that you guys are in is that right now we have this training where we're going to share with you all of the reasons why you should be pushing for this goal that you may not even be aware of, all the different perks. So as soon as I signed up, for me, I was thinking, okay, I need to hit Emerald, and what am I going to do? And so that was my mindset from day one, was like, okay, I just signed up to coach. What are the things that I need to do to move my business forward to become an Emerald coach? And we're going to talk a little bit about that when we go into more detail. But you have to make that shift in the beginning, that don't say to yourself, well, I'm just a coach. I'm not going to provide value in a challenge group. I'm just a coach. And I'm not a ranked coach right now, so I'm not going to be able to provide value in the team pages. Don't see it that way. You need to be seeing yourself as that Emerald. And in order to do that, you have to be stepping up and plugging in and doing the things that you need to do. So we're going to talk about that more in depth, but I want Allie to kind of share her thoughts on why Emerald necessarily wasn't her first thought as far when she signed up to coach. What was it as far as looking further down the line?
Yeah. So, and you can hear me okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, when I started, I really didn't even think about Emerald, to be honest. I was thinking like 6 months down the line where I wanted to be. And I knew that like my goal was Diamond, and that's what I wanted to happen. So in my mind, I'm like, well, Emerald's going to happen at some point if I have to hit Diamond. And so, yeah, I mean, I really didn't even have like a deadline for hitting Emerald. I was just really focused on Diamond. And I think because I was so focused on Diamond, it helped me to hit Emerald fairly quickly, which I think it happened within my first month or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just funny because like I didn't even, that was never a goal of mine. I just knew it was going to happen at some point. And, when I started, I knew I had to work 10 times harder because I didn't have, my husband can't be a discount coach because of his job. And I had to work 10 times harder to find those, good coaches who were in love with the business. And so I think the combination of those two things really just pushed me to hit Emerald fast, just to be very persistent and, talk to as many people as possible and get my challenge groups really built up and figure out who, really loves challenge groups and who loves Beachbody. So, for me, Emerald would happen, but I was always focused ahead.
Right. And that's another thing that you said was like, I needed to be having conversations and I needed to be building these relationships and all of those things, which are key to people trusting you and trusting that this is like worth it for them to invest in. And that's the thing that's really big for me, is like, I knew what this business could be. because I had seen other coaches do it. So as a new coach, sometimes I think you're a little bit afraid to step out and talk about the coaching opportunity because you're like, well, I haven't been a coach that long myself. I don't see the benefits of being a coach yet. I haven't, my income hasn't really grown yet, or just, all these different things. I don't have a great transformation, but I had seen coaches before me do it, and I knew my upline and I knew what she was experiencing in the coaching business. So it was very much like seeing the vision of what it was going to be, and speaking to it as that. So the next thing I think will lead perfectly into that is to talk a little bit on the idea of leadership. And so this kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just saying, is that as a new coach, sometimes I hear people say, well, I don't know how to run a team, or I don't know how to be a leader. I don't know how to do what you do as far as sharing how you grow in the business, or talking people through that. And I think that what you have to understand is you can never be fearful of your growth. And it may not be a conscious thing. It could be definitely a subconscious thing where you're kind of talking yourself out of growing what you have the potential to do, because you don't see yourself as, I'm not as good a leader as so-and-so. And there's that comparison game kind of starts to creep in. There's definitely moments where the team has grown and I thought, oh my gosh, this is bigger than I ever thought it would be, but when you start out, you don't think of this ridiculous team growing to such a huge level. You only think about helping those people who just joined with you and getting them started the way that you got started. And it's this really amazing ripple effect. And so to be afraid of leadership is to be afraid of your own growth and your own potential and what you're capable of doing in the business. And you're capable of doing amazing things by doing the basic steps every single day. And you don't have to be you don't have to be someone that's great at teaching, or, whatever it is that you feel like is your weakness in leadership. The best part about our job is that we are all about personal development and personal growth. So if that's an area that scares you, that's an area of weakness in your mind, in your mindset, then that should be where you focus your personal growth and your personal development. It should be all about the books you read, the audibles you listen to, the YouTube videos that you search should all be based on leadership and how to become a better leader and how to, get over that fear. Because we all know that in those fearful times, those fearful moments, those fearful big steps that we take outside of our comfort zone is really where the growth is going to happen. So don't be fearful of leadership. Don't let that be what hinders you from growing your business, growing your team, and giving other people this amazing opportunity. That's the other thing, is that as a new coach, I was very afraid to talk about coaching as though I was bothering people. And I look at it now as such a freedom in my life of like all of these things that have happened because of coaching, and to not share that with other people is doing them a disservice. And I share that in my coaching call to actions a lot, is the fact that I was afraid of that. But now I know that, I've watched different coaches grow in this business, and to know that if I had not put myself out there to share my own experiences, maybe they wouldn't have, gone all in with this whole coaching thing. So with that being said, I think, Allie, you were going to talk a little bit on confidence.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah. So I think, I like what you said about being able to share about coaching early on. And you brought up, feeling like you're new and maybe not as far ahead in your business. So like, what do you do? What are the things you talk about when you're a coach and you're new? And like, how are you supposed to kind of talk to people about how it's, you have these big posts about how it's changed your life financially. And I think when you're a new coach, you need to find smaller ways that it's changed your life. And so that's what I really did in the beginning. And, you have to have that confidence to share that. And you can't be scared of what people are going to think, because there's, always going to be people who have something negative to say. And you need to focus on just the people who are out there who need to hear your message. And so I think in the beginning, you really have to have this confidence, like, you know what you're doing, like, even if you are scared and you don't necessarily know everything about the business, you need to post as if you have been coaching for 4 years. And so for me, like, I just paid very close attention to what Niki was posting and how she portrays herself to people. And sorry, that's my dog.
Okay.
How she portrays herself on social media. And, you know, I kind of just paid a close attention to that and put my own spin on it. And I just really am big on being confident and not caring what people, you know, think. So that was my thing in the beginning. Was, I think within the first week of coaching, I was already talking about coaching and posting about, you know, the opportunity. And I think one of my first coaching posts actually brought in Jen, who's an awesome coach on my team. I hadn't even reached out to her. So people are like, where did you find her? And I'm like, she saw one of my posts, and it was one of my very first posts as a coach. So you have to be confident from the very beginning, because people are watching. And, you know, even if not everyone jumps on board right ahead, you know, at the beginning, they're going to eventually, like, that work you put in the beginning will come back around. And so you have to be confident from day one and really see yourself as, even if you're not a diamond coach or an emerald coach, just see yourself already as being that and taking on that confidence and that leadership role. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to talk a little bit more about kind of that cycle of that in just a little bit. So we'll talk about that in a minute. And so a lot of people are like, well, how do you get to Emerald? And like, how am I going to do that? Well, you're going to hear a lot of different ways throughout this week. But what I want to talk about now is kind of going through the motions. And we talked last night, we were just going back and forth about what we wanted to say on this call today. And one of the things that I was saying is that if you're going through the motions and you're being very honest with yourself, and yes, I'm doing a power hour. Yes, I'm going through the vital behaviors every day. And the vital behaviors, for those of you who don't know, are things like reaching out and inviting and running challenge groups and giving recognition to your team or your challengers, and personal development. So all of those basic things that you're going to hear in training, you're going to hear from your upline, you're going to hear us like pounding into your head, is because if you go through and you wake up every day, and if you have nothing else on your calendar other than, I'm going to do the vital behaviors, if you can do those things every single day in a power hour where you could fit in an hour of time, maybe it's not even all an hour together, maybe it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, however you want to split up your day. But if you can really truly say that I've gone through the vital behaviors and I'm doing that every single day and all that I can to, get X, Y, and Z done, then Emerald is going to happen for you. It's just going to be a result of the energy and the efforts that you're putting in. But it can't happen if you're not running challenge groups, if you're not reaching out about the coaching opportunity, if you're not posting publicly about the coaching opportunity, if you're not doing enough personal development where you can see yourself as a leader and have that confidence that we talked about. All of those things, is even all the way down to recognizing a challenger who loses weight. That might seem like a simple thing, but maybe you give that challenger just the boost they need to decide that they want to become a coach now. You post about it, and all of a sudden I have so many coaches, I can tell you guys, that came from challenge groups where I posted their transformation with their, them saying that's okay. You want to make sure you ask. But I posted their transformations, and people below were just like, oh my goodness, look at you. Like, you look great. What are you doing? I would love to know what you're doing. And when they say, oh, so-and-so wants to join the challenge group, I'm like, okay, well, they can either become my coach or my challenger, or you can become a coach and you can be helping these people and paying it forward. And so many times something as simple as recognizing someone for that gives them that little boost that they need to move forward and to move their business forward. And just like that, you have a challenger who is now going to become a rocking coach because they understand the products, they love the products, they're a product of the product, they love challenge groups, they understand it. So just all of those things. And you just really have to be going through the motions every day, at least bare minimum, with the vital behaviors. And if you do those things, Emerald is going to happen for you. And so I think Allie will lead into kind of, this will be a perfect transition into like that whole cycle. And
yeah. So like, I really feel like in the beginning, I'm a very impatient person. Like when I want something, I want it to happen like right then and there. And I've learned that, I learned very quickly that you are better off as a coach to just be consistent every day, be patient. And as long as you are doing your power hours every day, people are going to come around eventually. But you have to be doing the things that, that we're told to do every single day, or it's not going to happen unless you are. And I was just saying last night how some of the coaches that I have now, and some of even the challengers that I have now, I worked on in the beginning, first month or two of being a coach, and they're just now coming around. So I think when you're power houring every day, you just need to focus on not expecting something out of everyone you talk to right away, and just to continue to be sharing every day and know that eventually some of those people are going to come around. And something interesting that I shared with Niki last night, and it's about one of my coaches that just signed up, Katie. She's probably watching, but she actually started out as a challenger who already had a coach and didn't necessarily have the support level. She didn't have challenge group. Well, she didn't have, challenge groups, and didn't have, someone really supporting her throughout her health journey. And I let her in my challenge group anyways. I didn't expect anything from her. I just let her jump in, and just hoping that it would really help her, to be honest. I didn't want anything out of her. And eventually, within like a month or two into the business, I'm like, she would make an awesome coach. Like she loves the product. She's sharing her journey in our challenge group. I'm like, she is literally everything a perfect coach is. So I did end up talking to her about coaching, like maybe a month or two in. And now, she went from someone who didn't want to switch over to me as a coach to someone who is on my team now. And I think that just goes to show that, like, if you are, just not looking for something out of every person you talk to and just going through the motions every day, that eventually that work that you put in the beginning is going to pay off. You just have to be patient and just be consistent every single day, as hard as it is to do that. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing that you guys need to get out of this is that no one is any different than anyone else in this business as far as like what you're capable of. The only difference is the level of effort and the consistency that people will put into the business. And consistency is key to literally getting challengers over and over again, and running great groups, and growing and advancing in rank. And all things that happen in growth in this business come from literally being very consistent and never giving up. And so you got to shift your mindset and stop being afraid of, what things could go wrong in the business, or how you might fail, or whatever. And instead, just start being excited for what's going to go right in the business, and the things that are going to come from it, and just all of the great things that will happen as far as personal growth and what is possible as far as business growth. It's so exciting. So I want to kind of end with this little quote, and I can definitely share it in here, but I love it. I keep it as a desktop background depending on the day. I have a few different ones, but this one says that your mind will always believe everything that you tell it. So feed it faith, feed it truth, and feed it with love. And I think if you can get in that mindset of believing that you are capable, you are worthy, you are, it's possible for you to have a thriving business. That's all you need to do, is just believe that it can happen, and it will happen for you. So That's pretty much all that we have for today. We just wanted to, you know, kind of get your mind right, get you ready for everything that's going to happen this week. I'm excited for all of you who are diving in and ready to, you know, hit this goal, and we're excited to help you get there. And so hopefully with the push of this group and the encouragement, you'll be able to do just that. So Allie, I want to thank you so much for everything and for taking the time out of your day to hop on. We appreciate you. And I hope you guys have a great kickoff. We have Jen Heckle will be on tonight with her coach or coaches. Not sure how many she's got coming on, but we're excited to hear from her. And if you guys have questions about anything that we talked about today, please feel free to post below our link, and we will be happy to give you kind of any feedback we can to help you move your business forward. So again, guys, thank you so much. Happy Monday. And we will see you later this evening. Bye, guys.
Bye.